It is incredibly important to have a balance of work, which is what we're all here to do, but also making this a place people want to be and look forward to being and who they're having to work with. It's taken a little bit to find the groove there to, know how to ensure that we don't overlook the importance of recognition and celebration.
Well, hello and welcome to the J. Sterling Hughes Show, where we share how we have built our family law firm from 0 to 25 lawyers and 15 million in revenue, all in the past 10 years. And my purpose here is to document what's working and what's not working with hopes that you can take that and you can recontextualize that for your practice and shorten your success curve. And today, I have a guest that I'm excited to bring back on our show. This is Holly Mullin. She's one of our managing partners. Now, in our firm, managing partner is a super key position. There's no position in our firm that's more critical than our managing partner. So Holly and Katie both co-lead all of our lawyers and paralegals and legal assistants. And she is an incredible leader. She connects so well with her team, which is what we're going to be talking about today, is how does she connect, recognize, celebrate the accomplishments of her teammates. In addition to being our managing partner, she's an incredible attorney. She's part of our leadership team. And Holly, I've told you this before, but just for putting it out there for the world to know, I have never met someone who's more composed and professional than Holly. She is unrattleable. Is that a word? Unrattleable. So Holly, enough of me talking. How is your day going? And tell us where you're at today and what's going on.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. My day's great. Busy bee. Kids off to school, me off to work, settlement conference, check. So here we are.
So I asked you to come on today and talk about celebration and recognition. And just to point out, you're in Milwaukee and your team in Milwaukee, we were talking beforehand, has never been in a better position than it's in now. And the culture is extremely strong, cohesive, vibrant. Hasn't always been that way. So just as a jumping off point, can you just tell us how you've gone about building the culture on your team and then expanding that into celebrating how you do that across your team as well as the rest of the team in Wisconsin and even into Illinois?
Sure. It is incredibly important to have a balance of work, which is what we're all here to do, but also making this a place people want to be and look forward to being and who they're having to work with. It's taken a little bit to find the groove there to, know how to ensure that we don't overlook the importance of recognition and celebration. So, the firm is still really young, and I give us all grace for that because you don't know exactly what you're failing to do until you learn from it. So I think for a period of time, it was just focus on the practice, growth. And those are super important things too, but it was then we're overlooking the need for feeling, enjoyment and team building within the practice. So I think years ago, we maybe overlooked that for the first couple of years in the firm, but I would say maybe around 7-8 years ago, we started focusing a lot more on that. And then over the years have found some really important additions to what we do in our regular meetings, what we do on a less regular, but say quarterly basis, annual events that have made Sterling just a very fun and exciting place to be. And, I'll speak to the most routine that we do. So we have a weekly, what we call level 10 or L10 meeting, which is our Milwaukee legal team specific. So we spend time once a week over a lunch hour talking about any new issues that have come up in the firm and how we're going to address them. Give opportunity for anyone to provide feedback on things that maybe are a thorn in their side that we can tackle, and then I'll give feedback at the next meeting of how we're going to address it. But we start those meetings every single time we start it with a positive focus. So tell me something good. What's going on? And it can be personal. It can be professional. It can be you just are totally loving your lunch that day.
Yeah.
But it's something good. Set the tone for the meeting. And then we next go to shout outs. And shout outs are what is going on with our team that somebody should be recognized for. And that could be within our legal team, if my paralegal did an exceptional job handling a client who was, really stressed out, I'd want to like say, shout out to Evelyn for just being an awesome source of support for a client in need. I so appreciate it. When I can't take the call, I'm so happy to know that you can. Or it could be like somebody in our billing department. Well, we had a really difficult situation where somebody was very stressed out about finances, and our billing department was able to work with them, find a solution, give them a payment plan. And that just made that client feel really good to know that we were willing to work with them. I mean, it could be to the systems team. Like, I had a calendar issue and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't syncing with Salesforce or Gmail. Nate fixed it for me. That was amazing. Thank you, Nate. So it's like we give these shout outs and then they're recorded, like they're actually taken down. I type them up and we send them to the channel that it needs to go so that person hears that. So it's like, recognize the people who are doing great things and supporting the team. I mean, we've even had shout out to like judges. I don't send those to the judges. It's like, shout out to Judge Ramirez for making a fantastic decision on a tough case. We just give shout outs. And I feel like, number one, it's great to be on the receiving end of it, to be recognized. And two, I think it makes you in a good mood. When you say something positive, it makes you generally feel more positive. So, we do those every single week. And I love that.
Do you ever get a sense that that's becoming routine, or is there still like an engagement and a perk up whenever someone calls out your name in those meetings?
I think it's still definitely a perk up. It doesn't get old. Being like thanked or recognized, I don't know. I do not feel like that gets old.
Yeah.
When it's sincere, it's not like just like a generic thank you card that I signed my name to, set it on their desk. It's like when somebody is like looking at you and saying thank you, you were awesome. Like, it's always going to feel good. At least I have not sensed that it's become routine.
And I've heard you do these, Holly. One of the things you do so well around these is you go into detail and you put feeling and like color behind the shout out. You just don't say, hey, you did a great job on the Smith case yesterday. It's like, oh, and this is how Mrs. Smith felt, and this is what happened. That kind of detail really adds meaning to it, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's just, I don't think it's ever going to get old to like know you're doing good work and like having a positive impact on somebody else, whether that's like your coworker, your boss, your client.
You get a wide participation and engagement. I mean, is it just a few people giving shout outs every week, or do you find that everybody, even the shy people, the more quiet, reserved on the team, are also jumping in?
I think it's pretty far spread, because we also will do the every other week firm wide. We call it, the summons, where we all come together. And so across regions, we're all on the same video and we do shout outs that were brought in from the L10. So it's like the same ones. And then you get to like say it to the whole team, and you see different faces every single meeting, like doing different thank yous and shout outs and recognition. That's another great example, right? Is like in our summons, the firm recognizes team members' like birthdays, the whole firm, right? Whether it doesn't matter if it's on our intake team, an attorney, managerial position, everybody who has a birthday, it's like, we recognize you. You get your birthday shout out. Anniversaries for the team, like you get your shout out there. And then I think locally, right, like region by region, we'll order in lunch for somebody's birthday. We'll get bagels if that's what they like. It's like, we'll just make sure that somebody is getting like a special treatment on their birthday. Again, it's that recognition and making somebody feel like they're not just like a name tag on a door.
Yeah. So outside or beyond just the shout outs, I know you do other things too. What are some of the other little things that you do that recognizes?
So we have kind of like what we have is like quarterly events that we really look forward to, and they've become kind of traditions now within our Milwaukee office. So like, for example, every fall, so this is coming up, we do a murder mystery party.
Oh, I didn't even know about this.
It's so fun. Okay. It is so fun. And we kind of go over the top with it. So we will do like a theme. So we did one year was like murder in Disney World.
Okay.
And so you don't tell anybody, but we draw out of a hat like who your character is. So we order these things on Etsy. It's so great. So they give you like a package of how you put the game together. So it was like we had a Tinkerbell, we had like, Mickey Mouse and the evil witch. And so we had all of these different Disney characters. And you have you have to read your role, and then there's clues. And at the end, we all try to figure out who is the villain.
Yeah.
This year we're doing Harry Potter.
Okay. Wow.
So look for that.
Good options there.
We always do it around Halloween-ish that time. So that's super fun. And we really we'll block our calendars for an afternoon and just all totally get into it. And
do you do this in the office or do you go somewhere?
Yeah. No, we just do it in the office.
Okay.
Like we block our calendars for maybe just 3-4 hours of the afternoon, do a potluck, and super fun. We always get full engagement. In the summer, we do a zoo trip. So that's like families. And so spouses, kids, partners, everybody's welcome. And we go to the zoo and have a picnic, and super fun. And that engages families, which I think is also important. Get to know your team outside of the office.
Yeah.
Who they are, what their interests are. You just learn so much about people when they're not in the office, and you can kind of see them, I don't know, just in their casual clothes and around their partner. It's like you get a totally different vantage point, which I think is special. We do a holiday party. Do you do that
during a weekend, or do you just take a day off?
Usually pick like a Sunday. We usually pick a Sunday, and the firm is awesome, like providing a culture budget for us so that we can, I don't know, have these fun events and say, hey, we're all going to go to the zoo. And I would say it's whatever that culture budget is worth its weight in gold, because that event, it's like our team looks forward to it. Yeah. They really do. And it doesn't feel obligatory. It's just like, this is going to be a really fun day out with the whole family. So yeah, we do that one on a Sunday. The murder mystery one we do during the work day. It's usually like a Friday afternoon where we just check out a few hours early. So it's like, it's not pulling away from family time because it's not with your kids and significant other. We also do the holiday party, which is super fun, and do that right kind of before the break at the end of December. And we have a karaoke setup. I mean, that's firm wide. So you have those brave people, I am not one of them, willing to get on the microphone. And we do the white elephant gift exchange. So just a blind, whatever, $20 gift, and you pick out of the stack and get what you get. It's just so fun. These things have become traditions. It's like, if it wasn't, so right now we're in the beginning of September. Last week, my team was already like, what's our theme for the murder mystery?
Oh, wow. Okay. Getting into it.
And Austin was one. He's like, I've been looking and I found a Harry Potter one. Everyone's like, yes, we have to do Harry Potter. So it's people really get into it, and it just.
That's so fun.
The way that we feel about each other in the office is very much, it's like my work family. I have my home family, I have my work family. We're all very excited to be around each other and have these social events that, I don't know, make you not feel so much like you're grinding it out at work.
Yeah. I've noticed too, this is pretty obvious when you come to the office, you've kind of built this culture where you all sit around a big table. And every time I've been there and walked through, and if there's anyone in the office, they're always at the table with each other. They're not, secluded off into their room, their office or whatever, unless they're on a phone call or something. Can you just kind of talk more to that on how you've used that tool to build community on your team?
Yeah, I love our setup at our firm. So I'll be very honest, it wasn't necessarily intentional. It was a product of the layout of the office, which ended up being something that if we ever had to move office space, I would 100% make sure that we had a communal conference room space, not a conference room up in the front. So we have the way our office is reception is in the front. We have 4 conference rooms. Those are all up in the front, with, window access to the front parking lot. And then behind that, towards the back of the building space, every attorney has their own office. We have a communal kitchen space. And then we have this open concept area right by the windows that has just a really large conference table and chairs all around it. And yes, everybody has space to work privately if they want to and close the door and have a client phone call, or if they have a Zoom appearance for something, they'll go in their office. But when that's done, they'll go out to the table. That's where I was right before I hopped on this meeting, is out there working with Austin, Ellen, and Mike, who happens to be in the office today, right? The other attorneys are probably in court or somewhere else. But when you're here, it's uncommon to be in your office with a door closed unless you're conducting a meeting. Not like there's rules around it. It's just because we enjoy it so much. It almost feels like law school at the library. It's like you all sit at a table and you study. You're getting your work done, but then you can also like troubleshoot, right? It's like, I'm trying to make this argument. I can't think of the case law. Does anyone know it off the top of their head? Or what's the statute I'm trying to reference? And it's just like an immediate engagement of like better than Google. Like they're giving me the answers, or you have to vent. It's like something frustrating happened on a case and you just need somebody to hear you. So we're all like there engaged with each other in a very social setting, but also all able to be incredibly productive. There's plenty of time that we're all sitting out around that table, 4 or 5 of us, and it's quiet, because we're all typing, we're all emailing, whatever. It's a workspace, but it's also like an open invitation to collaborate.
Yeah. Wow. You do a lot of stuff to recognize it's private. I'm sure you don't want to, knowing how humble you are, you're probably not going to want to, I'm going to have to squeeze this out of you, but I know you do little things too that recognize, that are small touches. Can you just kind of touch on some of those things that you've done? I'm giving you total authority here and authorization to just brag about it a little bit, because I think it's important, because you have a nice way of just expressing, hey, I care about you, in a way that connects with people.
More simplistic ones, right, would be like gift cards or little gifts for birthdays. I do Christmas gifts for my team. They're not elaborate. Like last year, I made homemade chocolate chip cookie dough for everybody, put it in a bag with their name on it. I got them a little pint of mint chocolate chip ice cream, and then I bought them like these miniature cast iron pans.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, go and make chocolate chip cookie in like a molten iron pot. So the only thing I really bought was like a cast iron pan. They are not expensive, but it was like, I got so many pictures that night of like my colleagues like making their little cookie cake with their kid, or like their kid has like ice cream all over their face and just like enjoying the chocolate chip ice. It's like this, it's a little thing. So when you have a big team, it's hard to buy 8 gifts, and have it be something that's like of substantial value, but it's like that was still something that was fun to wrap up and for them to enjoy. But then like maybe on a less exciting or fun note would be like the sad times, if we have a colleague who's ill, who's being hospitalized, it's like this year we had a heart surgery, we had a back surgery, we had an attorney who lost a father and father-in-law like in the same week, just like horrible life events that of course we're covering for them here in the office, where it's like, don't worry about work, we've got you covered. But like beyond that is sort of like, and I hope this can just bring like the tiniest ray of light to your day. And it'll be like a gift card to their favorite restaurant, or like a wind chime with the names and great. It's like just something that's like, here's something from your team. We're thinking about you. Take as much time as you need. Like, I don't know. It's just those little things. There's nothing that's like crazy over the top, but it's little touches that when they can't be in the office because things have gone wrong, that you're not just celebrating the good, but you're like supporting them during the bad too. Yeah.
Yeah. The feedback I get that comes up through Robin and elsewhere is just that the team just thrives off of that knowledge that you care about them, that you're going to do those little tiny touches like that are so impactful, and they far outweigh the time or the money that it's spent on making that happen, which has been really, really cool to see. You mentioned earlier the culture budget. So just for our listeners to understand, I think we allocate $20 or $25 a month per person to form the budget. That's for the year. It's not a significant, so 25 a month, 12 times a year. So it's not a significant amount over the course of the entire year. So you don't have to have a lot of money that goes into this. You just got to put thought into it, and you clearly do that.
Yeah.
Do you have a vision for how to, I don't know if expand is the right word, but kind of propagate some of these ideas throughout the firm as you continue to build, you and Katie build out the team and in the offices? Have you thought about that at all? You have a vision for that?
I shared with Katie, who's in Illinois, about this murder mystery, and I have invited the senior partners from those offices to even like come, and so that they can like engage in it, see it, and hopefully extrapolate it into their own offices so that regionally they're still doing fun things. And I think just because I've shared that over the years, like I am familiar with them doing a lot of really fun things in Fox too, that, they went to like an axe throwing event. They went to a gun range. I mean, not like they only do weapons events. Like they have other activities also. I'm just trying to think of the two that jumped off the top of my head. But I know they're doing a lot of fun things as well. Katie, they've done like comedy clubs and really nice dinners out, that kind of stuff. So the firm has had competitions too, like when, they'll have whoever can, I don't know, you name it. Like we have a joke contest. It's not even like related to the practice of law, but it's like who can tell the best one-liner, and then we'll vote. And it's like, well, that team is going to get a dinner out or something like that, when it's just really, really fun. So there's things that are being done, not just by me or Katie, but like by the firm as a whole, to ensure that like not just region or metro specific, but firm wide is like getting a taste of like how activities and events and celebrating is super important, and just it makes people feel really good about where they're working and like things that we say in our vivid vision about like why Sterling is like our career. Like this is like where we bank our careers. If you want longevity out of your team, this is a must.
Yeah.
Or it's just another place to work. If it's just another place to work, you can assure yourself that your team members, and you probably wouldn't even use that word, you would use colleagues, right? If you weren't celebrating or recognizing, it's like your colleagues are going to find wherever they can make the most money. Yeah. Or have like, I don't know, work from home hours that you're not offering. But like here, I don't think people are going to be as easily swayed by just, a slightly bigger paycheck, work from home. It's like we have a flexible work from home policy, and our attorneys are here.
Last question around that. That's interesting you brought that up. So what is your policy that you ask from your team in terms of being in the office versus work from home?
I really do love to see people in office. I do. I don't mandate it that it's like 100%. I myself work from home on Fridays. I have since I had children. So I work from home on Fridays. I mean, my kids are in school and I still work from home on Fridays. It's just a day where I can block the calendar from court appointments, consultations, settlement conferences, where I can get my drafting done. I can get a ton of emails out, and I can be really productive there. So I myself work from home one day a week, but my team, I would say most of them would also, some are 5 days a week in office because they choose to be, but I let my team know, if you want to be working from home a couple days a week, if that's like comfortable to you, I'm fine with that. And some people would be in the office, maybe not right at, I'm here at 8:30 every single morning, fine. If you have a workout class or something that starts at 8 and you don't get in until 9:15, and that's like good for your mental health and that makes you feel better about your day, then get after it. And I'll see you at 9:15. I would make an issue of their in-office habits only if I saw it impacting their files. Yeah. So if I saw that somebody's clients were feeling unheard or unattended to, I would look and see, like, does this correlate with how much time they're in the office? But if like, you'll also see me sending emails at 9:00 at night on some times. So people who aren't necessarily in the office at 8:30, that doesn't mean they're not working 8 or 9 hour days consistently. It just means that we can flex our hours, and that's a big bonus here, which I wouldn't want to take away from people. I have a high level of trust that my team is diligent in the office and outside of the office. And so until I see that it's affecting their ability to serve their clients and get their work done, I'm going to give them a lot of autonomy on making that decision. Guidelines, of course, I wouldn't want to never see them, because again, that culture of seeing and interacting is super important. Right. But I do feel like that can be accomplished with 3 days a week in the office. Yeah. Well, and I don't see anyone abuse that at all. It seems like it's very well managed from a standpoint of individuals. Well, thank you, Holly. This has been terrific. I appreciate you sharing, and I'm just excited to continue to watch your leadership blossom and your team be just led so well.